need help, let me know, okay?
Yes, thank you. So, hello everyone. I just arrived like 2 minutes ago because of the traffic from downtown to getting here. So I need some some oxygen into my brain and breathe. And maybe you're also sitting here for quite some time, so you also want to breathe, get some more air. Please stand up for a second. Stretch a little bit, put your arms up. Put your arms to the side. Be careful not to hit anyone. Put your arms up, and down, and up, and down, and faster. Up and down, and up and down, and up and down, and up and down. Okay, thank you very much. Take a seat again. So, yes, I expected not that I could fly. I gained some weight during the last couple of weeks, so I'm too heavy, but you are all working here on an airport. I hope that one of you can take off the ground, but sadly not. So it might be that we humans can't fly. And this is because we're too heavy. We are too heavy for the power and energy that our muscles can generate. And this is what nature teaches us. If we want to fly, we have to lose weight. My name is Nina Gaissert. I'm the biologist of the Bionic Learning Network of Festo. So this Bionic Learning Network is an international network. We have a team of 7 motivated people supported by technicians and researchers all around the world. And we have one goal. We want to learn from nature. We want to transfer that knowledge into technology and make better production of the future. I will show you 4 principles today that we already took inspiration from and turned into technology. And I hope I can also show you how we can let ideas fly with bionic thinking. I just said production of the future. This is just a short glimpse of a production environment. It's already quite complex, right? But until now, production was quite linear. So a company developed a product, mass-produced it, and then the customer was supposed to be happy. But nowadays, we, the customer, have more power. We want to have personalized products, and especially in electronics, you all know that we want to have the newest products whenever they come out, and there's a new smartphone coming out every half a year. So production has to change. Logistics has to change. And there we can learn a great deal from nature, because nature always changes. So right now we have fall. A couple of days ago we still had leaves on the trees. Now there are no leaves anymore. It's rainy, it's cold. Soon we will have snow. And every little animal out there has to adapt to this dramatic change. And therefore nature has developed several strategies to adapt to change. And these strategies were optimized for millions of years during evolution. And this is why Festo, a global player in technology, automation technology, developed the Bionic Learning Network. We want to learn from nature, from these optimized strategies. Actually, we want to transfer the knowledge into better technology for today, but we do not want to copy nature. We want to get inspired and make something new out of it. And so the first topic we thought about was flexibility, and the chameleon stands for flexibility. So you might think that the color change is really special about the chameleon, but there's more about the chameleon that is interesting. So the tip of the tongue wraps around an object and holds it tightly, no matter if it's small or big, rough or smooth. And this was a role model for us to build a totally new gripper. We call it flag-shaped gripper, and this gripper also moves around the object and holds it tightly. And before that, we had to use one picker to pick an apple, another one to pick a pear, but with this gripper we can pick and place almost anything. We can grab glasses or a little ball. We can even move more than one object at the same time. And we can even move the cup or the spoon. We do not need much computer science for that, because we have the intelligent structure inspired from nature. The next role model we took inspiration of are ants. But what is interesting about ants? The thing is that one ant is very tiny and cannot do big things, but together they can do big things. So actually, the biggest colony of ants stretches more than 300 kilometers from Italy to Spain along the Mediterranean coast, and they all can communicate with each other. To better understand that, we built a little robot that we call the Bionic Amps. They move together and they work together in order to do something that one single one is not able to do. So here in the video you can see that one tries to move an object, it realizes that it's too weak, so it goes and tries with the help of another one to move an object. So actually they do that without a central computer. They do it fully autonomously. They cooperate with each other. To do so, we had to put all the processors, sensors, communication into this tiny space. We printed that with a 3D printer, put the electronics in, but then we used 3D MID technology to also print all the circuits directly onto the body, and we were the first in the world to do so. So with this, they can really work together and do something that one single one wouldn't be able to do so. Further, we use machine learning algorithms, so these ants learn by themselves how to move their legs. So they're not pre-programmed, they test how they can move their legs and optimize their behavior to walk from A to B. But don't worry, we have machines that can learn, they can communicate, they can even go into the internet and retrieve information. But they will not take over the world. We still make sure that the human has full charge over the whole process. We also will not see hundreds of ants in a production environment or sorting luggage or something. But we learned how we can use these strategies that the ants use. For example, in a production line, we have one machine that stops functioning and it calls another machine for help. And by this, the whole system can become more flexible. And we can use the same machine learning algorithms like the ant uses to optimize the whole process and make it more energy efficient. So I just said that we also want the human to stay in charge of the whole process. But you know that all of us, we are easily overwhelmed by data, so we have to reduce this data that we present to humans. And there we took inspiration from a dragonfly, because dragonflies are actually quite complex. A dragonfly weighs only less than a stamp, and the wings are so fragile, they're about 300 microns at the thickest point and only 3 microns at the thinnest point. You can't hardly see that. Still, a dragonfly can fly up to 54 kilometers per hour and fly a distance of 1,000 kilometers without landing. It can go forward, left, right, up, down, hover on the spot, and accelerate swiftly again. It is only able to do so because it can control each wing independently. It controls amplitude, angle of attack, and frequency of each wing. And we took inspiration from that and built the Barney Copter. This is a little robot that has a wingspan of 63 centimeters. And it only weighs 145 grams, although it has sensory systems, motor, battery, everything on board. And it almost flies like a real dragonfly. To do so, we had to put 9 motors in to control amplitude, frequency, and angle of attack independently. And you might know that from quadrocopters, there you have 4 motors and they are already hard to control. But here we have 9 motors. Every pilot would be totally overwhelmed if he has to control that with just 2 hands. Because of this, the Barney Copter has circuits and control algorithms on board. Furthermore, we have a smart app. And now we cannot really see the pilot here, but the pilot does not have to do much because he only gives the speed and the direction, and all the rest is done on board on the Barney Copter. And by this, we can control such a flying robot, but also a whole production line. We only give the relevant information and the reduced information to a human, and we do this in an intuitive way. So we learned that a chameleon or an ant as a role model can make a whole production or logistics system more efficient, more flexible. But the best role model for efficiency is the bird. So you just saw that we humans cannot fly, but birds can fly because they're lightweight. They have hollow bones. Due to this, they save on material and on weight. And this is what their inspiration was for us. We built flying robots, other robots, and we also save on material and weight. And by this, we directly reduce the energy that we use for moving them from A to B, and we make them more energy efficient. So the audience at TEDx today was able to experience our robotic bird to fly today. I'm sorry, it's already on the way back to Stuttgart, where we're based. So if you're really interested how a robot can look like that flies like a real bird, check the internet. You have a nice video on our website. You still just saw the Bionic Copter, and you might think that these projects take years, but Bionic Copter was able to fly after just 1 year. And we're only able to do so because we have an inspired team. So there's something that is more important than having the greatest people or the biggest budget. It is something that brings the team together. And for us, it's the inspiring natural role model and a spirit that we call bionic thinking. So actually, I hope next time you go for a little stroll outside or hike in the mountains, maybe you see a butterfly, maybe you see a bird or a little ant. Look at it with open eyes. Maybe it can teach you something that let your ideas fly. Thank you.